What did I be you singing? What did I be you swinging? That funny old tune will drive me to ruin. It came along and made me his slave. Now I'm craving things that I should crave. It came along and made me his slave. Now I'm craving things that I should crave.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Chud Watch. I hope you're all doing well. Some of you have already noticed that there are new channel points redemption things. You have your typical hydrate command, which is good if you want to make sure I'm not dry. Hydrate, there's a hydrate for 5. Did I set that for 5,000? I feel like I'm gonna drink a lot of water. Anyway, there's another one. Shit. There's another one. The channel points are gonna remain high because I know that there are some people in chat who have like 500,000, and that's not great. So I'm gonna drain you all first, and then maybe lower them later. Someone redeemed the 50,000 channel points. Hats off to you, which means I have to wear a hat. And if someone else gets it, I put on a different hat. Captain Rose with 20-bit says, I'm high AF on oxycodone now and listening to Hannah on all of these substances. You're just increasingly funnier. That's good. There's another hydrate. And there's another hydrate. And the highest channel points reward is for 1,000,000 channel points. You can force us to watch Danzy. Oh, there's another one that lets you time out someone in chat. So if you're very annoyed by someone in chat, you can time them out with channel points. I didn't name the hats off reward. That was Twitch's. So I just added it. Time out all mods, cause chaos. Hold on. I gotta go back to the top and get the bits messages I missed. Sushi Mom, thanks for subscribing for 12 months. Says, woot, 1 year of Hannah. Love you lots, Hannah. I wish you nothing but good things in the next year. Thank you. Mike Max says, I found a picture of Crowder, but he hates voicing a smart black character now. Oh yeah, he was Brain on Arthur. Jeff Millarts with 20 says, got my first jab today, saying Kent Brockman voice. I, for one, welcome our new 5G technocrat overlords. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up. Cupcake Chaos, thank you for subscribing for 12 months, says, a while year, what an accomplishment, or a whole year. Typo. Yay for me. Thank you for a whole year of subscriptions, that's awesome. Captain Rose says, also don't worry, I'm not a drug user, this is pain management for the whole almost dying thing. Well, I hope it helps. Freaking Out 99 says, I got my custom Hoosonic. It's got Viking runes and a Tesla coil looking thing with a green crystal on the head. That's cool. Do you have any pictures I could see? Doodlebird with 100 says, I've never felt so powerful with my points before. Captain Rose says, I mean, I'm totally a drug user. I'm just being safe and doctor recommended. Don't worry. So Holiday, thank you for subscribing with 8 months. Coolio. Yes, my hair is frizzy. It's bad, I know. Zero M80 with 1,000 bits says, guess who got paid today? Nice. Broadlock Moses says, bits for hype. And I think that catches us up. Cool. We're at 40% of the level 2 hype train. What? Oh, I missed that one. Hold on, let me go see if I can see it. I don't know where that is. Hold on. I don't know what you're talking about. I believe you, though. I'll... Send me... I don't have that. Oh, wait. There it is. I got it. Wow. You don't gotta be like that about it. Okay. Timeout Baja. Okay. Can do. Did it work? It is a purple construction hat. Wait, where'd this music go? $10? Yeah. It's my options were 1 second, 10 minutes. Okay, I didn't see that. Ask Compu, thank you for subscribing with Prime for 4 months. Ever play Shapes IO? It's a lot of fun. No, I have not. Doodlebird with 100 says, if we get you to level 5 and you have to wear a hat for it, but then someone redeems channel points, does that mean you'll wear 2 different hats? Yes. Fraggled Rock, thank you for subscribing with a 2-month streak. Freaking Out 99, thanks for 20 bits, says, here's a link to the listing for the Sonic. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Neato. This one's mine. I think I've shown this plenty of times on stream, but in case someone hasn't seen it. There's an Etsy store that makes custom Doctor Who sonic screwdrivers. I use this as a prop wand for my D&D character. Mike Max 321 says, for Chauvin, but since you've been gone, I can breathe for oh no. You've been gone. That's a little tasteless. But I get it. I know, the channel points totals are high right now because there are people with hundreds of thousands of channel points. As Compu says, this is my hub right now. I don't know what that is. Oh, Jesus Christ. This does not look like a fun game at all to me. This looks like a job. What is this shit? Jesus Christ. Oh, I forgot to turn the screen back on. I'll lower the channel points thing once people spend some of theirs, because I know there are people with a lot of them. Okay, so what are we looking at today? We have this guy who's mad that Disney is woke. We have a bunch of people reacting to the Derek Chauvin thing. We have Lord of Patriarchy reacting. We have the Quartering reacting. We have Ben Shapiro reacting. And then we have a bunch of other random stuff. Elliot Hulse doing his thing. Right-Wing Cope. Conservapedia. Maybe this guy. It'll be a good stream. We're gonna have some fun. Morok Ben Eoth with 20 says, good and bad news, Tesla might fire me next week unlawfully, so I might be unemployed, but might get the ability to sue Tesla for being shitty. Sue them, sue them, sue them. Doodleburb, thank you for gifting 5 tier 1 subs to the community. And Bardlock Moses with 1,000 bits. The Orlando Sentinel is a rag. Yeah, we're gonna read it, and it's gonna be terrible. It's like a... what is it called? Like an op-ed thing, and it's a terrible article. It's gonna be good. I'll read it to you guys. Hydrate, and another hat's off, so I gotta change the hat. And another hydrate. Another hydrate. Can we watch this guy's response? What is it?
Is ruining.
Oh yeah, sure. The Orlando Weekly is better, but full of doomers. I don't know anything about local Orlando area newspapers. Mike Mack says, is there any church claiming BLM is bad because they don't protect Asian people, because there been black people attacking Asian people, and what your view on the claim that black and minority can't be racist because they don't have power? Personally, I disagree, because anyone can be racist. Anyone can be racist, but usually people are making a differentiation between institutional racism and normal everyday racism. Andrew Patella says, please don't overhydrate. I'm fine. I'll just have to pee at some point, probably. Mike Mack says, Chud. Speak the Truth 16, thanks for gifting a sub. Overthought with 50 says, chat here trying to waterboard Hannah. Yeah, one sec. Another hydrate. Sorry, I'm just figuring out how to juggle all this. Doodleburb with 100 bits. Melted Snowcaps, thanks for subscribing with 3 months. And Bardluck Moses with 100. Level 4 complete. We might actually get to level 5 today. Nice. Let me go to... where is Baja on here? That's weird. I can't see you on the list of users. Probably specifically because I timed you out. Do I want to get to level 5? Yes. Ashy Boo says, I bought more bits. I hope you're having a great day and Cassia's doing well. Thank you. Melted Snowcaps with 100 bits. Yeah, could one of the other mods put Baja Blast back on? Lavender Amberly, thank you for 300 bits almost. Doodleburb, thank you for gifting 10 tier 1 subs, bringing us to level 5. We did it. Thank you, Doodleburb. Purple Nickel with 100 says, my giant cat named Khan joins me in watching the stream. Say hello. Khan! That's the obvious joke, isn't it? Oh, you did? Thank you. Okay, so let's find something to put on while we finish up this hype train, shall we? Power move mute Hannah. Purple Nickel says his name is Khan, like Shere Khan from the Jungle Book, but Star Trek reference is still relevant. What's Marcel doing? Did he post anything new? Oh my god, he did. Oh my god, is he wearing a cape? Yes! Marcel is wearing a cape! This is not a drill, people. This is Marcel Bissett in a suit, wearing a cape, with 300 as his background. Speak the Truth 16, thank you for subscribing for 2 months. Says, Chompy, my kitty joins me. He likes to bite ears, hence his name. Oh no. Hold on, I'm gonna listen to this for just a second. So I gotta mute the desktop noise in case he says anything out of line. He says he's gonna shame people in this video. How long till Marcel tries to build a freeze ray? Bold of you to assume he hasn't already attempted that. Sky Comet Fallen, thanks for 100 bits.
Along with our membership brochures, different rights information on why police are a criminal fraud, all that stuff. We have all kinds of inbound customer service. So if you call 1-855-767-6606, yeah, 1-855-767-6606. That'll get you someone live that you can get your membership. Basically, we are doing a peaceful, hostile takeover of corporations posing as government. So the government...
Peaceful, hostile takeovers.
You have right now, we're taking it over. We're going to get 50% of the local community, each suburb, each city, to sign up for membership, and then we will be the majority government. At that point, our infrastructure comes in. As we're doing this,
that's when the infrastructure kicks in. Once you get over 50% of the population on your side, then then the infrastructure kicks in. That's how infrastructure works.
Food programs, advocacy, our own peace force, not carrying guns, not carrying anything that's going to cause lethal harm. You can't do it. We are bringing a complete de jure system. And let me be very clear. I am at war with anyone and anything that stands against freedom. Now,
I gotta get my cape, because now I feel like the fool. I don't even have a cape. Ashy Boo with 20 bits says, this sounds like a pyramid scheme pitch. You don't say. Yeah, I'll remod you, sorry. Where's the mod button? One sec. God, you're not even like showing up in my feed. One sec. Sorry, everyone. This is such a pain in the ass. I'm gonna put a caveat on the thing. You can't have me time out mods, because I'm not doing this every time I gotta do this. That's a pain in the ass. So you can't time out mods with that channel reward thing.
I'm going to publicly shame a whole bunch of people today. So you guys heard a little while back we had Lorna, our so-called law expert. Now, she's very smart in law.
Oh no. Just the other day in a video, he was saying how great she is, and he's already changed his mind? Oh no. Yeah, I'll do the cape. Mike Max says, Marcel, I want to create an animal sanctuary. Also, Marcel, I don't like this beaver dam. I will destroy it. The beaver. Sir, you are invading my right, destroying my property and nation. Prepare to be due. You're fuck. I'm a judge. Ooh, 2 hydrate commands. Cool. There's a drink. There's another drink. I want the tinfoil cape. Where's my purple one? Okay. By the way, since Marcel and I are both wearing capes, we're going to have to struggle for power to decide who's actually in charge. Because once 2 people have capes, you're basically equal in power. That's how capes work. I don't know if you guys know that, okay? I would also, if any of you have capes, I would recommend... Oh, I'm going to vote for Marcel. Marcel has a better cape than me here. Marcel for sure. Do you see that? It's two-toned. It's perfect. This isn't the most put together video, is it? I'm doing my best.
Problem that a lot of smart people become really useless when it's time to act. So let's go to share screen.
Oh no, is he gonna dox someone? I'm gonna put this off screen for a second in case he's about to dox someone.
Basically, I have told the indigenous nations that came to join us to take a hike.
He just made a video about how excited he was to work with them, like, days ago.
I have also... So let's go to... Which one do we want to do here?
If he starts saying an address or something, I can stop it. I can pause it. I have my finger on the stop button, but it's just visually, if it's up, it's up. You know what I mean?
First... Let's go to Facebook here first. So I'm just going to show you guys here. I message people every day that I have known my whole life on what's happening. Okay, let's move that over there. Okay, so let's go here. I'm going to talk about a few people, some of the people that I watch and study. So Odessa, she has Liberty Talks. Odessa Orlowicz. So within that, this lady, she does good podcasts. It's not like she doesn't, but she was just talking about how people need to stand up and get...
Yeah. Baja sent me this lady the other day because we were looking into Marcel.
Their kids stand up to the teachers and principals at their schools. You shouldn't even be sending your kids to school. Odessa, she says she can't take her kid out because her ex will take her to court. F your ex. You're a...
Hold on, I'm gonna mute this. I really just gotta, I gotta save this for another day. I gotta go over it. Marcel's too volatile. But I want to watch it so bad.
Podcasts. It's not like she does.
Yeah, do that. We'll watch it later in the stream. Just watch it at like 2 times speed. Make sure there's no N-words or anything. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so we'll save this for later in the stream. Oh, have you seen this? Dave Grossman, who trains police departments across the nation, tells a group of cops the best sex is after killing a person. He calls it a perk of the job, followed by laughter from the police in attendance.
I've been on the road for 18 years. People know me, they trust me. I get a depth of information. I ask questions other people won't ask. Cop says, knock down, drag out, fight, cuff them and stuff them. Finally get home at the end of the shift and cop says, gunfight, bad guys down. I'm alive. Finally get home at the end of the incident and they all say, the best sex I've had in months. Both partners are very invested in some very intense sex. But there's not a whole lot of perks that come with this job. You find one, relax, and enjoy it.
What a piece of absolute garbage. Ridiculous. And people wonder why cops are such pieces of shit. Okay, let's get started with some right-wing cope, shall we?
Even due process, they find people guilty all the time. Look at what they're doing to Matt Gaetz now.
Matt Gaetz, alleged and investigated child trafficker, underage person trafficker.
not saying Matt Gaetz is, not guilty. He may be guilty of everything that he's being accused of and more. But thus far, there's been no evidence presented of any kind. And they
what? They already talked about the fact that they were like Venmo transactions between him and another admitted child trafficker. What? At least it was for nervous laughter, I suppose so. Hydrate, cool. And no, I didn't cover the Disney man baby guy yet.
They have him convicted and locked up as a pedophile. The whole Me Too movement was about destroying people based on accusations that are...
Oh, get fucked. The Me Too movement is about accountability for people who assault women. Chill out. Or anyone who gets assaulted, but primarily it was about... women getting harassed by people, and then those people getting away with it.
They don't believe in free speech. They don't believe in due process. They don't believe in just the standard democratic processes, including the safeguards that our founders put in, including making sure that states that are small and rural have equal representation in the Senate but not the House, so that they don't get they want to change all of that. They want to change all of the rules.
Yes, fuck the Senate.
To ensure that they remain in power forever. It is a genuinely repressive and tyrannical party and a movement that supports it. And it's the reason I've become so violently alienated from it.
Jesus Christ. They're so mad that their side's getting caught doing crimes. This person says, Joe Biden becoming president, quite frankly, is the worst thing that has happened to America since 9/11. Awful economy, guy is killing jobs, gas and oil going through the roof, killing the stock market, expanding abortions, and he's not even funny. F. Joe Biden. Does he think being funny is a qualification to be the goddamn president of the United States? Oh my god, that's pretty gross. Mike Mack says, conservatives, we hate pedos. Also conservatives after Matt Gaetz. He's innocent. Yeah, it's almost like they're big hypocrites, huh? Weird. The stock market is the highest it's ever been. Shocking. Dude snitched on himself while storming the Capitol to his Bumble date. Those weren't my questions. Those weren't answers to my questions. I did storm the Capitol. I made it all the way into the statuary hall. Did an interview with Robert O'Mara of the Washington Post. Also did online interviews with Jess Brevins of the Wall Street Journal. We are not a match. I suppose not. Then posts about it on Facebook? The mutton shops are a bold choice. Nick says they voted for Roy Moore too. I know. It's disgusting.
Wyoming is smaller than Washington by population, but it has 3 times as many workers in mining, logging, and construction, and 10 times as many workers in manufacturing. In other words, Wyoming is a well-rounded, working-class state.
Oh no. Washington, D.C., we don't think you have enough coal miners to have representation.
One Senate Republican said that D.C. wouldn't be a, quote, well-rounded working class state. I had no idea there were so many syllables in the word white.
Burn. Judge not by the content of his character, but the color of his skin. And it's a white, blonde child being shackled by critical race theory. Oh my god.
Intentional.
Can't play that because music. Manual bill graffiti. It's a $100 bill that says Trump won. Here is the evidence.com. Patriots.win. Ugh.
You're being replaced, and there's nothing you can do about it. So shut up.
Is Tucker Carlson okay?
So shut up.
We all know the reason why the jury decided a guilty verdict, probably because he was a murderer. One, they were fearful they were going to be doxxed by the media. That's actually funny, because I've seen on, like, the Donald.win and other places people trying to dox the jurors for voting guilty. Two, Maxine Waters incited violent riots if otherwise, the riots themselves. The jury were sequestered. They didn't have any of that information. They didn't know Maxine Waters said anything. They weren't allowed to watch the news about it. Chauvin immediately stood and calmly placed his hands behind his back. Imagine where we'd be had George done the same. Gross. Jesus Christ. Oh. How's Frank's speech doing, by the way? Is that still up? Thank you for being a part of Frank. With over 200 million streams in just 2 days, Frank's speech has so far been an epic success. Right now, we're working on new features. Keep checking back. So yeah, it's not up at all, except for his shitty propaganda pieces. Fun stuff.
Get caught with a pipe, you Alsane.
Oh my god. Someone made guilty Derek Chauvin weed things. It's a bit tasteless, but it does make me laugh. Jesus Christ.
Understand you have a verdict. Count 1, uninjured 20.
Oh boy, here's a 4chan post. Let's talk about places white guys can go that don't actively hate us, don't think we're responsible for all the evil in the world, and don't want to take our money, our property, and kill us in no particular order. Excuse me, Russia, China, Eastern Europe, Middle East, anywhere but here. China, Eastern Europe, or Australia seem like good choices, please. Yes, Chuds, move to the outback. We do not want you here.
Nobody mentions that. Nobody, is for prison reform when it's their political enemies.
I'm for prison reform for everyone. Okay, we cannot watch the Marcel video. We can't watch it.
No. I only got 9 minutes in.
Ooh.
It's not equal justice, but nobody says it. Why is that?
Because we have 2 pandemics going on right now. There's a pandemic of ignorance in this country, and that is only allowed to fly because we also have a pandemic of cowardice in this country. Okay.
Okay, people are saying to download the video and censor it. Okay, so let me just say this. Hannah would have to not only mute the whole thing, except for like a couple of adverbs every once in a while, she would also have to blank out the screen completely.
Yeah.
Because not only are there slurs, but there's also slurs on the screen. So, hi Lou.
Okay, so we have people that are purposefully putting out a bunch of ignorant claims, and then we have people.
Oh, the irony, Candace. The goddamn irony.
And I'm telling you, the United States, we don't understand what their agenda is, but we're being awakened to it pretty quick. And there's a lot of people that voted for the Bidenite. The Bidenites are about to be removed, right? God's going to eliminate the Canaanites, the termites, and the Bidenites. And
wow, they want to murder their political enemies so badly.
Prayer tonight that you shake the Congress, that you shake the Senate. In the name of Jesus, we declare H.R. 1, H.R. 5, court packing, trying to get rid of the filibuster shall not come about. Father, as all the scheming and plotting against the Lord and his anointed one, you sit in the heavens and laugh. Today we laugh with you in the name of Jesus. We decree and declare there's a shaking in the White House. There's an outpouring of your glory, Father. There's repentance, conviction coming to the White House in the name of Jesus, a shaking to the Supreme Court. Father, we thank you that you reign, Father, far above every power and every principality, and that at the name of Jesus...
Can I link it for you to watch yourselves? No, but it's on Marcel's channel if you want to go find it yourself.
Shall bow, every tongue shall confess that you alone are Lord. We declare you are Lord over America. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in America on earth as it is in heaven. In Jesus' name, amen and amen.
To the Lord is so strong, my body will begin to, it's like a super fast shaking. I mean, we're shake, right? And then we shake, and your whole inside shakes. That's the frequency of God coming into the earth. But Trump's vibration is increasing. And you're the first one who I ever said that to, by the way. That what he's given now is a shaking. It's a shaking coming from Trump himself. Since the enemy's trying to shake us into fear, the words when Trump speaks them has that vibration, that frequency of the Spirit of God in them, because God is shaking.
I don't want to feel Trump's vibration, though.
Shaking himself. He's shaking the earth itself. He's starting to shake. Hell itself is shaking right now. They're terrified because, you know, Satan's usually the one who does the shaking thing. But God had...
Satan, well known for shaking things, as we all know.
Done it a long time ago. So he is shaking hell. The spirits of darkness are beginning to shake. I see them all the time, like shaking, trying to run away. And so I can tell you, we're getting closer and closer to that time when God himself is going to do something. Of course, it's going to involve Trump in it. But even the frequency in his voice now has a vibration in it.
Really?
Some people may begin to feel that when they hear him speak, because you know why? He is our president.
It's called a godgasm. Chuds are fond of having them. Oh, God.
Going to debate. I told her, she asked me if I had read her 14-page Green New Deal. I said, I've read some of it. And she said, well, when you read all of it, then you can challenge me to a debate. Well, the good news is I've read all 14 little pages, and I'm very ready to debate her on the House floor.
Gonna have to doubt you on that one. Where do you find his channel? I'm not gonna tell you. Find it yourself. I'm not gonna point you to it. Vardlock Moses says death cult.
So this is what we're going to be doing. The date hasn't been set, but when it is set, I will let you know. And she better show up. If she chickens out, then she shows exactly who she really is, a scared little girl that is pretty stupid and doesn't know anything about the economy or economics. And she boasts that she does because she has a degree in economics.
The so-called degree she got in college for economics. She doesn't know economics, even though her degree is in economics. Okay.
But she doesn't have enough common sense to actually be able to produce anything in the real world. She just has a government job.
She has the same job as you. What?
Okay if a politician preaches?
If you're getting tax exempt status, no, that's actually illegal.
They tell me not to do that. I'm going to do it anyways, though. Election integrity. We talk about all these other issues that matter to us. We care about what's happening at the southern border, what a mess that is. We care about our economy. We care about health care reform. So many different issues. But here's the truth, and we have to realize it. None of those issues matter if we do not have fair and legal elections. We will not have a free...
We do. We already have those. Bardock Moses says they hate educated people. Yeah, they do. Anti-intellectualism is a cancer on this country.
The most important issue that our nation is facing today is not the crisis at the southern border. It is not health care reform. It is not our economy. It is election integrity. And I promise you, I will beat that drum so loud. We will investigate what happened in 2020, and we will hold those responsible accountable for crimes of high treason against this country.
They don't even know what treason is. You have to, like, work with foreign governments in wartime for it to be treason. But also, there have been dozens and dozens of lawsuits attempting to do stuff about the 2020 election. None of them found any suspicious shit that wasn't explained. It's fine. That's why they lost all those court cases. Even Donald Trump stopped trying at this point. He's just pouting in Florida, like all geriatrics do.
Is the word Rothschild means redcoat in Yiddish.
Really?
Yeah. And they intentionally went after the big cities, Frankfurt, Vienna, Paris, London. There's one of the 5 main cities of Europe, and that's how they took, and they established...
True Belkis, thanks for subscribing for 3 months.
Banks, they established central banks, and that's how they took control of nations. And so while people are looking at who's in Biden's seat, the traditional presidential seat, like, well, how can you say Trump's doing something when he's not there? Believe me, that is not the power position, particularly the way it is right now in the nation. President Trump is on assignment, and he's anointed by God, and the archangels are working with him. I'll tell you, Michael is working with him. It's not that he's serving Trump, it's the other way around.
He not only knows that God is helping Trump, but he knows the specific angel that God has sent to help Trump. That's impressive. Mai Yang, thank you for subscribing with Prime for 6 months.
And Zerachiel and Gabriel, but they are going after what is being contended for and just about done is these seats that we're talking about, like where the Soros and the Gates and the Rothschilds, those seats that really control and affect world dynamics. Those things are being taken care of behind the scenes, and it would have been harder for President Trump to do so, staying seated in the other seat.
It's so funny to me that they continue to try and be like, well, it's good that Trump's not the president, actually, because now he can operate more freely towards the plan. Like, you can't get your plan done in the most powerful position in the world. I don't think your plan's gonna happen.
Is what happened in the Nazis. When the Nazi party took over under Adolf Hitler, Krupp was the great steel company, IG Farben was the great chemical company, and other of the businesses. You figure Messerschmitt, who made the planes, and Volkswagen probably made some of the cars, and there were a whole lot of other businesses in Europe that joined in the work of Adolf Hitler. So what are our corporations in America doing? They're turning against their nation, or at least the prevailing ethic, and they're...
Coca-Cola saying blocking black people from voting is bad is literally the same as being a Nazi. Yikes. Bardlock Moses says, I want to see that episode of God's Office. And Mike Mack says, if these angels acted the same as the angel in Supernatural, they won't do jack shit.
Insult the memory of all of those who suffered real suffering under Jim Crow laws. You have no idea. Do you know what a Jim Crow law was? In Georgia, illegal for a black barber to serve white women or girls. Blacks couldn't be buried in the same cemeteries as a white. Black baseball teams were not allowed to play within 2 blocks of white ball field.
Yeah, and now y'all are trying to prevent black people from being able to vote. That's also fucked up. If you don't like the comparison, stop also doing the racism.
Unfortunately, the reason why they don't want you talking about this is, unfortunately, this is very, very scary and true. It implicates many elites around the world, many people in various positions of government, in Hollywood, very wealthy individuals, CEOs, and many of the people that we would refer to as deep state people. So that it's a broad, deep, far-reaching, lack of a better word, a cabal of people that are involved in this horrible, nefarious, sex trafficking industry. And when we blow the lid off of it, it would implicate many people in the world right now that are prominent individuals. So it's crazy, it's bizarre, but I'm happy that it's becoming, more mainstreamed, and to hear Jim Caviezel talking about adrenochrome.
Mainstream A-list actor Jim Caviezel.
Wow. I mean, so I'll
whose most famous role was in 2004, almost 20 years ago.
I get kicked.
Watch out, guys. Jim Caviezel and Scott Baio are gonna team up and take down the cabal.
Off this stream if I get into some of these things in depth, but what I would advise you to do is study adrenochrome and what Jim Caviezel is referring to, because I think that it's eye-opening, and it's one of the reasons why people like myself do what we do. Somebody asked me recently, they said, do you do anything with the sex trafficking, the sex trade industry when it comes to bringing awareness? I said, absolutely. That's one of our core areas that we want to bring awareness and we want to focus.
Okay, guys, so I'll also mention this the next time we cover a Marcel video, if his channel remains up after the most recent one. How do I put this? That we thought maybe it was a cop that was interviewing Marcel because it seemed really off and weird? Fun fact, not a real interview. Not a cop either, though, sadly. It's a guy off Fiverr. Baja found his Fiverr page. Marcel hired him, presumably, to come on and do the fake interview as an ad. So, that's who that guy was and why it seemed so awkward, because the guy was acting. Fun stuff.
It's called Make America Hate Again. And the idea behind the book is that we have lost our understanding of, it is right and proper to hate hateful things. My next book is going to...
Did I see the trailer to the new Michael Bay movie? No.
Be an attempt to rehabilitate, getting in touch with atavistic feelings we all have. When you hate something, when you have a feeling of revulsion...
I don't think I've ever heard anyone outwardly come out and say, we need more hate in America. Bold stance, Milo.
And it's like disgust. You may feel your hands and feet getting cold as the blood rushes to the central...
I didn't see Mortal Kombat yet, no.
...of your body. Well, there's a reason for that. Your body is preparing for war. Your body is getting ready for a fight, protecting its organs and sacrificing your extremities. Because when you see something that produces hate in you, you have an evolutionary response that prepares you to hit it or to hit something and get out of there,
Jesus Christ. I miss when he was literally nowhere on the internet, and I didn't have to look at him. Nick says, they probably want him to lose the election so he can stage a coup and be president for life instead of only 8 years. Be a short dictatorship. He's pretty old and not in great shape. Mike Mack says, if the elite wanted to rule the world, they can do it anytime they want by stopping what they do in society, like firing jobs and closing all factories and pulling back any founding, but they don't, and many of them do charity. I'd argue the wealthy already do control the world. They don't really have to do anything else. They did it. They did it. They got the money, and they can do what they want with it.
Our saying more gay men feel like there's something wrong buried in there than they will ever care to admit.
I think we watched that one before. This will never get old, though. Here's Mike Lindell getting prank called, thinking it's Trump.
Yes, sir. Breaking news here with a guest. Hello?
Hello, yes, I have Mr. Trump on standby. Are you ready?
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
Hello, everyone.
We have the president here, our real president, everyone. Hello, Mr. President. MacronShow.com, bitches. MacronShow.com.
Okay.
All right.
I
Sorry,
guess
folks.
I guess that was. You see what they're doing? They're attacking us. And this is what. That even came up. They're hacking into our phones. It came up that it was a legitimate number. Call. A legitimate. I know the number's coming from.
Okay. That's enough right-wing cope. Let's cover this story because I just find it so funny. I am going to have to read it on my phone, though, because when I try and click on it on the desktop, it makes me want to get a subscription to the Orlando Sentinel, and I don't care about local Orlando news outside of this bizarre article. This is an op-ed piece in the Orlando Sentinel, Orlando, of course, being the city in Florida where huge tourist industry held up by Disney and Universal Studios and Wet n Wild and other amusement attractions like that. So, this guy wrote an op-ed, said, I love Disney World, but wokeness is ruining the experience. Now, I've been to Disney many times. I've been to Universal many times. I love theme parks. I'm very into, theme park YouTube and looking at theme park history and all that stuff. And it's a very interesting subject if you're into that sort of thing. This is honestly hilarious, though. Got 2 hydrates. 2 drinks. Can do. 3 hydrates. Yeah, Defunctland's a great channel. Okay, so anyway, this guy wrote an op-ed on why he thinks Disney's too woke. Let's take a look. I'll just leave his picture up during this, so there's something for you guys to look at, because I have to read it on my phone. Sorry about that. Oh my god, 2 more hydrates. Here's one. I'm gonna have to start saving those for later. So this is written by Jonathan Van Boskrek. That's a difficult name to pronounce. Here's what he says. My family and I have been loyal Disney customers for decades. We vacation at Disney World every year. We take a Disney cruise every year or 2. Consequently, we spend way too much money in Orlando. Unfortunately, I am strongly rethinking our commitment to Disney, and thus Orlando. The more Disney moves away from the values and vision of Walt Disney, I don't care what the vision of Walt Disney is, he's dead, the less Disney World means to me. Disney is forgetting that guest immersion is at the core of its business model. When I stand in Galaxy's Edge or Fantasyland, I know I'm in a theme park, but through immersion and my willingness to set the real world aside, something magical happens. That spell is broken when the immersive experience is shattered by the real world, and boy has Disney been breaking the immersion. Recently, Disney announced the cast members are now permitted to display tattoos, wear inclusive uniforms, and display inclusive haircuts. Disney did all of this in the name of allowing cast members to express themselves. The problem is, I'm not traveling across the country and paying thousands of dollars to watch someone I don't know express themselves. I'm there for the immersion and the fantasy, not the reality of a stranger's self-expression. I do not begrudge these people their individuality, and I wish them well in their personal lives, but I do not get to express my individuality at my place of business. So he's basically mad, I guess, that Disney has changed their policies to, I would imagine, if you have a non-offensive tattoo, you can display it if you're working at Disney. If you're a cast member at Disney is what they call it. Really, dude? You're an adult. You're an adult. Like, I get it. Disney's fun. That's great. But why? What about Bob with the timeout thing? Myself. Okay, you want me to time you out? Fine. That's weird, but cool. How long did that do it for? It defaults to 10 minutes. I don't know how to do it custom. Sorry. I know about the response. We're not done with the article yet. Also, I find it very strange that he finds it non-immersive to have people with tattoos. Does he think, like, in Star Wars world, people wouldn't have tattoos? Like, what's specific about a tattoo that takes you out of the experience? I don't get it. There's another hydrate. And I assume the inclusive hairstyles thing, there's 2 hydrates, is probably, I don't know. I actually don't even know what it is. Jesus Christ, guys. I'm gonna have to pee so bad. Come on, guys. I gotta set a time limit on that or something. Come, guys, serious? Sorry, everyone on YouTube. What's next? Is Disney going to end the rule barring on-stage cell phone use by cast members as an infringement on self-expression? What's the hairdo thing? I gotta check this out. Disney cast inclusive haircuts. Gender inclusive hair. What? So is it basically just their male employees can have long hair now or something? Disney has officially announced it will relax its restrictions on the appearance of its theme park employees. The company has announced that in an attempt at a broader push for diversity and inclusion, the company is set to allow their employees to have visible tattoos, as well as gender-inclusive hairstyles in a blog post. Disney Parks Experiences and product chairman Josh D'Amaro said the park will now offer greater flexibility, especially when it comes to gender-inclusive hairstyles, jewelry, nail styles, and costume choices. Cast members at Disney will now be allowed to tattoos below the neck that are limited in size, as well as 2 small earrings in one ear instead of one. The changes are only applicable to cast members at Disney resorts in California and Walt Disney World in Florida so far. So basically it seems like they probably didn't want their male employees to have long hair or something, and they changed their policy on that, which is good. Is this guy taken out of it if there's an employee who happens to be presenting masculine and he has long hair or something? It's very strange. What a weird thing to care about. No one in the universe of Star Wars could possibly have long hair. More broadly, like many corporations, Disney's been politicizing its business. Full disclosure, I am a Christian and a conservative Republican, so the people who run Disney and I do not see eye to eye. Regardless, corporations have always made politically motivated decisions. Usually, it's due to a desire to make a profit, but sometimes it's due to the values of the people in the corporation. Walt Disney used his corporation to express his patriotism during World War II and his pro-capitalism beliefs afterwards. The difference today is that the people who run Disney use social media to scream to the whole world that a decision has been made for political reasons. Does he not understand that Disney makes these decisions because the majority of their customer base agrees with them? They're still making finance-based decisions, you idiot. It's not like the people at Disney are like, oh, we must make the moral decision. It's them going, well, the public seems to like these things. Let's do that so we have a better image amongst the public. You're in the minority. Conservative Christian Republicans are not the majority of consumers. Disney is in the process of taking a woke scalpel to the Jungle Cruise. Trader Sam is out because he might offend certain people. Let's take a look at that. This is Trader Sam. Yeah. And there's some other racially insensitive depictions in Jungle Cruise as well. You know, you get it. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Not great. Anyway. Every grown-up in the room realizes that Trader Sam is not a representation of reality. Yeah, every grown-up. Disney's a park where children go. Where children go. And also, just because you realize and recognize that something's pretty fucked up doesn't mean you should just leave it there, necessarily. I'm sure that thing will go into the Disney vault somewhere and they'll hold on to it for historical purposes, but, like, it doesn't need to be in the ride. It is meant as a funny and silly caricature. Yeah, but why is it funny to you, is the point. What is it a caricature of? Racial stereotypes about some sort of jungle trader. It's not great. It's no more based in racism than every Disney character of an out-of-touch white American dad. No. The next time I ride Jungle Cruise, I'll not be thinking about the gloriously entertaining puns of the skippers. I'll be thinking about Disney's political agenda. That's a mood killer. Sounds like this guy's just not fun and shouldn't go to theme parks. Disney proclaims that Splash Mountain must change because of its association with Song of the South. Disney owns Splash Mountain, so it can do what it wants. That should be that should be the end of the sentence, right? It's not. But if Disney screams at the top of its corporate voice, which is pretty loud, that it's changing it to appease a certain political point of view, now every time I look at the ride, I'm thinking about politics. The same with Pirates of the Caribbean. Disney has made significant changes to the Pirates of the Caribbean over the years. Whether Disney caved to political pressure or really thought the alterations were necessary is irrelevant. The changes that were made to Pirates of the Caribbean were removing a scene that implies that pirates are about to sexually assault a bunch of women. Hold on. Okay, so, auction, take a wench for a bride. This used to be a scene in Pirates of the Caribbean where women were captured and being sold to pirates. Boy, why would pirates want to buy a bunch of ladies that are there against their will? Yeah, this is a ride for children, again. So that's a pretty out-of-date thing. So they changed it now to Now one of the ladies is a pirate, and they are taking rich people's possessions, which is pretty based. Why am I streaming on a Friday? I didn't have electrolysis today. My electrologist is busy. So they changed it. That's a good change. There were some other minor changes. I know at one point they included Jack Sparrow in it. I don't know if they removed him at this point. I think there was also a scene. Yeah, see, they added Jack Sparrow at some point. Again, I don't know if he's still in there. But there's another scene, I think, where a guy was getting boiled alive, and they removed that. Because, you know, it's supposed to be like a fun pirate ride for kids. Not horrifying. Well, a little scary, but, you know, kids scary. So, fun stuff. This guy's mad that they took a implied rape scene out of a Disney ride. He's still there? Okay, cool. Pirates used to be one of my favorite attractions. My family would always ride it first on our first day at the Magic Kingdom. Now we don't even ride it every trip. We only liked that ride because they were selling women in one of the scenes in it, okay? I don't like the ride other than that. Now we don't even ride it every trip. When my family rides Pirates now, each of the changed scenes takes us out of the illusion because they remind us of reality and the politics that forced the changes. Why can't we have comedic scenes of women being sold into sex slavery on a ride for children? Dang libs. Disney World is going to lose us as customers. I hope so. I don't want to see you on It's a Small World. If it continues down this path, I don't want to have Disney World taken away from us because Disney cares more about politics than happy guests. This is what this guy doesn't get. They do care about happy guests. You do not have the majority opinion of their guests. They made a business decision that said, hey, we have some racially insensitive things in our park and some other stuff that's a little iffy, right? We want to cater to an audience, and we definitely want younger people to come to Disney because it becomes a tradition, and then you want to go back and you become a repeat customer. Younger people don't jive with some of this stuff, so let's remove it so we can continue to have new customers and customer retention from a different demographic. This guy doesn't seem to understand that. Disney doesn't care about this guy as an individual. He cares about demographic groups and who they can bring in as customers to the park. This should matter to people of Orlando because if Disney drives away customers like me, Orlando loses money. I'm sure this one salty man is gonna really hurt Disney. I would rather keep spending them in Orlando, but people like me feel more and more excluded by Disney's decisions. The parks are less fun because immersion and thus the joy is taking a backseat to politics. Disney, please return to the values and vision of Walt. The customer experience should be the core of your business model. Again, it still is. You're just not the majority of their customer base. Immersion should not be sacrificed on the altar of political correctness and appeasing the Twitter mob. What an idiot. Imagine taking the time to write that and have it published. This is someone, I guess, did like a little parody or something of it.
Disney World. Wokeness is ruining Disney World, and you're ruining my day. Removing all the racist stuff hurts your immersion, but not the talking duck? No, employees shouldn't express themselves. Yeah, let me change myself so a grown man can pretend he's talking to Goofy. Goofy's not real. I am. Wokeness is ruining...
Pretty good. Pretty good. But anyway, yeah. I don't know what that guy's problem is. He's kind of just a big piece of shit that doesn't like when things change, I guess. Let's do bits messages. Mike says, the prank will be more fun if they use Trump voice to say QAnon was a hoax. He hates the Republicans and lost fair and square, and he hate my pillow. That's kind of funny. Pyromancer, imagine being committed to Disney. Bardlock Moses says, Orlando Sentinel is still shit. Probably if they publish that garbage. Doodleburb says, don't forget the response. Yep, got it. Pyromancer says, should probably put a cooldown on the hydrate. I agree. I will later. Jake Unity, thanks for following. Wing the Ultimate Nug says, it's not like Cinderella's actor or any other character is going to rock their tattoo in costume. Yeah, the like, if you're like playing Peter Pan or someone who has exposed sleeves or whatever, they're not going to let a character, a cast member who has a visible tattoo play that character, or if they did, they'd have to make up over it or something. Like, it's not a big deal. Wing the Ultimate Nug says, it's not like... Oh, already read that. Unconditional Prong says, these right-wingers want something edgy and crazy. Here you go. My response to this guy. Oh, no. Where's that link? Where's that link? Let me see if I can find that link. Post the link again, if you would like me to click on it. Sorry. There's a hydrate. Rate Jesus, thanks for 100 bits, says hydrate. It's got to be the points. It's got to be the points. You can't just bit message me hydrate. Magic Lad TY with 20 bits says, which needs a cooldown more, Surus's Owo Uwu or the water? CCB00 with some bits says, just got back from Marcel's video and my god, literally he is saying, oh man, I'm not gonna read that. I don't want to talk about the Marcel thing. Bard Like Moses says, so he's still going to go? I guess so. He just wants to complain. Mike Max says, conservative Christians hating others. Jesus, love thy neighbor. Bard Like Moses says, they didn't want people to think about slavery and rape, so you don't he bad buying pirate stuff. Nick says, advocating for rape and racism is conservative now, apparently. Seems so. Bardlock Moses says, Orlando has Lockheed Martin. And Sky Comet Fallen says, his problem is he's a spoiled brat. True. Alright, so many chuds are pretty upset by the, Derek Chauvin being found guilty on all 3 charges of murdering George Floyd. I think he got like 2nd degree, 3rd degree, and negligent manslaughter, something along those lines. So let's see how these people are reacting. We might have to skip around. I don't know exactly where the reveal happens in some of these, like this one and this one, but we'll check out their reactions and talk about them.
Dokie. We're live streaming the, apparently there's been a, verdict reached in the Darren Chauvin thing.
Derek Chauvin.
We're just kind of waiting. It's supposed to...
He's doing something different with his beard.
Be read sometime between now and,
They shoot you, no, they ain't gonna make the...
now and pretty much all the businesses are boarding up. There'll probably be some curfews issued and...
Nope. There were no riots because justice got done. Mannequin, thanks for raiding. Welcome, raiders. Go check out the Mannequin here on Twitch.
All because a bunch of fucking assholes from Black Assholes Matter.
Woo! He's getting spicy.
Can't fucking accept reality.
That's how he reacts to reality once Chauvin gets found guilty in this clip.
Well, they're not going to get murdered too. That's the thing. They're not going to get the maximum. It's over.
This photo was taken moments before disaster. Yeah, I don't know why his audio's like that. I'm sorry.
Meanwhile, Keith Ellison won't prosecute these cocksuckers, which is going to... Basically, what this is going to cause Governor Walz's political destruction. This state is going to go red, and red hard. I mean, unless Walz has the National Guard mobilized, like, boom.
I think these guys are more disappointed, and someone said something similar about Fox News in chat, and I agree. I think these people are just mad that he got found guilty, specifically because they wanted there to be riots, so they could then point to that and use it as a way to be like, see? Black people. You know, typical racist bullshit.
Fortunately, I'm like 40 miles away from the Twin Cities. So, and my town's pretty pro-cop, so I think I'll be fine. But yeah, if you're anywhere near the Minneapolis area, I hope you got guns.
Yikes.
I truly do. Because, oh, okay, we're getting something. Was it the cleaning lady? Okay, they're just turning on the AC. Right, shut up. Shut up. I've heard that,
Oh no, Dave is commenting on stuff he shouldn't, so he's talking about literally anything.
I've heard that shorter times means guilty, longer times means acquittal. Oh no, both of these are gonna fucking happen. I don't see Minneapolis not rioting. That's why I'm shocked they didn't have this verdict read in February when it's 10 below out. It's too fucking cold to riot. Meanwhile, you have that stupid fucking cunt, Ilhan Omar, said, we need to defend the beneath. Why the fuck we let that Somali bitch get in our fucking government out?
Wow, what is Dave doing? We've covered Dave before. It's been months and months and months since we covered Dave. He's gotten way worse. What is he doing okay? Because this is like, even for him, this is ridiculous. What is wrong with him?
We'll never know.
Apparently, Jake's whole hashtag Save Dave campaign has been going terribly.
I don't know. She may get... She may set up Chauvin's appeal. That's the fucked up part. I don't know. I truly don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. He may walk. I think they may have him for manslaughter. They don't have him for murder. Well, hopefully Walz tells the cops and the guard not to fuck around. Just violently suppress the damn riot. I'm really echoey.
Let's quell protests of police violence with more police violence. That'll go well.
I'm not using my normal thing. Let me fuck with the settings. See if this does anything.
Oh, it doesn't happen till the end here. Let's go take a look.
Find out if my city's still standing.
He's such a jackass!
All rise for the jury. All right, please be seated. Members of the jury, I understand you have a verdict.
This is beautiful.
Members of the jury, I will now read the verdicts as they will appear in the permanent records of the 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota, County of Hennepin, District Court, 4th Judicial District. State of Minnesota Plaintiff versus Derek Michael Chauvin, Defendant. Verdict, Count 1. Court file number 27, CR 20-12646. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to Count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this
Wow!
2021 at 1:44 p.m. Signed, juror foreperson.
Wow, I did not expect that.
Same caption, verdict count 2. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Signed by jury foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 3. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable.
Chauvin, I love his face. You know, I'm glad courtrooms are wearing masks and everything. I really am. But I would give so much to be able to have seen the rest of his face during this.
Negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Jury foreperson.
Wow, I was not expecting guilty.
Members of the jury, I'm now going to
I was
ask you
expecting
individually
maybe
to present your
manslaughter.
true and correct verdicts. Please respond yes or no. Juror number 2, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 9, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 19, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 27, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 44, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 52, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 55, are these your true and correct
Oh, yeah.
verdicts?
Yes.
They'll riot to
Juror number
celebrate.
79.
That didn't happen. They want a riot so bad so they can try and use it to demonize an entire race of people. It is so disgusting.
Are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 85, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Juror number 89, are these your true and
That's
correct
the other
verdicts?
thing. Now more cops are
Juror
going to
number
quit.
91, are these your
If a cop quits over this, they shouldn't have been a cop in the first place. Fuck them. If this upsets you, if a cop who murdered a perp on camera while people were screaming at him to get off him that he can't breathe, and that upsets you that he faced justice, leave the force. You shouldn't be a cop.
And they're not going to be able to find ones to replace them.
Juror number 92, are these your true and correct verdicts?
Yes.
Are these your verdicts, so say you one, so say you all?
Yes.
Members of the jury, I find that the verdicts as read reflect the will of the jury and will be filed accordingly. I have to thank you on behalf of the people of the state of Minnesota for not only jury service, but heavy duty.
Wow, I
What
was
I'm gonna
not
ask you to do now
expecting
is to follow the
this.
deputy back into your usual room, and I will join you in a few minutes to answer questions and to advise you further. So, all rise for the jury.
So many cops are...
I really wonder what that... And of course, you know, it's anonymous for a reason, and that's great. But, like, I would love to get a transcript of the jury deliberations and how that went. I think they took, like, 8 hours or something. I don't remember exactly the amount, but it was, like, 10 or under. I'd really love to hear what conversations they had about this.
They're going to quit because of this. There's unintentional consequences.
Oh no, shitty cops will leave because they're afraid that they might get caught murdering someone? Good? That's a good consequence. That's the point of making sure justice is done. That's the point? To make sure that cops think twice before murdering someone? That's good.
I was not expecting this. Wow. I didn't think they'd get murder too. I don't think they had a case for murder too.
Well, you were wrong. Just like you are about almost everything, Dave, so...
With the guilty verdicts returned, we're going to have Blakely, you may file a written argument as to Blakely factors within 1 week. The court will issue findings on the Blakely factors, the factual findings, 1 week after that. We'll order a PSI immediately, returnable in 4 weeks. And we will also have a briefing on, after you get the PSI, 6 weeks from now, and then 8 weeks from now, we will have sentencing. We'll get you the exact dates.
I don't know. I guarantee he's going to appeal.
Scheduling order.
Cases like this that are this big always appeal. I read a write-up by a lawyer online. It was just one lawyer's opinion, so take this as that. But he basically said, yeah, they're not going to appeal this, at least not on the factors that some chuds have said. They're like, well, Maxine Waters said this thing, or Joe Biden said this thing. And the lawyer was like, no. They're not going to get the verdict overturned because of those things.
Is there a motion on behalf of the state?
The state would move to have the court revoke the defendant's bail and remand him into custody pending sentencing.
Bail is revoked, bond is discharged, and the defendant is remanded to the custody of the Hennepin County Sheriff. Anything further?
All
right. Thank you.
Beautiful. I don't think I'll ever get tired of watching that clip.
We're adjourned.
No big black mama saying, baby, I still love you.
Did his brain short circuit? What?
Well, I guess that wraps up that. I was shocked that they got murdered too. Again, in truth, I didn't follow this trial every goddamn day. Okay, I didn't listen to it.
I didn't listen to the trial, but I was sure that they didn't have a case.
Maybe there was enough.
Hydrate.
Maybe there was some intimidation. I don't fucking know. Or maybe it was what one of my viewers said. Maybe this was just a a cop lynching.
Do I need to explain how offensive it is to compare a cop being convicted of murder for murdering a black suspect and calling that a lynching? Do I really need to explain why him facing justice for that and calling it a lynching is not cool?
All I do know now is you probably won't see riots.
He sounds so disappointed.
And you're going to see a lot of police officers resign.
So, good news all around. Hooray.
Because remember, being a cop is a job. It's not like the military. You can quit anytime you want.
And what are they going to go do? Be mall cops? Where are they going to apply the skills that they have? Skills.
So in either case, this ends up badly for the good citizens of Minneapolis and Minnesota. So I guess that's where this ends. And I'd love to stay on longer and analyze and discuss, but
what would you analyze or discuss? You didn't even watch the trial.
But unfortunately, I have to go start working on dinner for the family.
Ew, he has a family?
No, I wouldn't want to be a cop either. Who the fuck would want to be a cop?
Shitty people, mostly.
You do your job and you're convicted of murder?
He didn't do his job. He murdered a guy. If you watched the trial, you'd see Chauvin's boss saying that was against procedure.
What the fuck are they gonna have to...
He lives with his mom, dad, brother, and his brother's wife. Is that true?
...do now? And this is precedent. This will set precedent.
Good.
Yeah, well, fuck you, music combo. You don't want people to arm themselves, and you want the cops to be cucks. Guess what happened?
If a cop doesn't murder a suspect, they're cucked.
The criminals rule, motherfucker!
What a loser.
I still say this. George Floyd died from a fentanyl overdose.
The medical examiners disagree.
And what are you motherfuckers gonna do if he appeals and he wins?
He won't. He'll appeal. He won't win, though. Oh, he's just staring at the camera. It's not frozen. Sorry.
So, it was what it was. They got the verdict they did. I wouldn't be shocked if BLM did something illegal to coerce them into doing it.
It can't be that I'm just wrong. I didn't even... He even says he didn't watch the trial, but he's assured that his preconceived assumptions about what the verdict was going to be must be right, even though he didn't watch the trial.
Or that fucking Max... And by the way, that Maxine Waters cunt will be brought up in appeal.
And they'll say, the jury was sequestered. They didn't see or hear that. End of appeal.
So, I have no tears to give. I was ambivalent one way or the other. Again,
You sound very ambivalent.
I even said I didn't watch the trial, but from what I know of it, George Floyd died from a fentanyl overdose.
You are incorrect, sir. The medical examiner disagrees, and they would know because they did the autopsy. Can't you tell how ambivalent he is?
I thought he'd get manslaughter. I was shocked he got murder too. Anyway, I still think most of these charges get ripped out on appeal. So anyway, that wraps up this one, because I gotta go grill.
He's just a centrist, mad that a cop got sent to jail for murder, and now he's gonna grill.
I'm just waiting for when Black Lives Matter comes apart at the seams, because it's coming.
It's a grassroots organization with, like tons of chapters all around the country that function more or less independently. How do you expect that to happen?
You have the leader of that little old group, one of the co-founders, buying multi-million-dollar properties.
He had to go into the talking points because he has nothing. He was so wrong about this. Now he's just got to go into like Breitbart Fox News headlines that he's parsed.
Properties plural. And everybody's wondering, where the fuck did the money come from? Where did all that money that Black Lives Matter raised go to? Oh, that's right, nothing.
They actually donated a bunch in the last election to Democrats. Fun fact. Because Democrats, are more likely to push for reform in criminal justice.
It went to nothing. So, I don't know. I
don't know, Dave. Did it go to nothing? Because we just watched a trial where a cop actually got convicted of a murder that he did. So it seems like things are actually improving. That's good.
Expect tomorrow. Maybe nothing will burn. I don't fucking know.
He wants a riot so bad.
A bunch of Black Asshole Matters people come around my neighborhood, they're getting shot.
Dave is molding at levels I didn't believe were possible previously.
And as far as I'm concerned, if I was a Minneapolis cop after this verdict, I'd quit.
You wouldn't. No, I'm not going to say that. Never mind.
At that moment, I would quit. Right now, the verdict was read, 5 minutes ago? I'd already be heading home. What's the point of being a cop at this point?
What's the point of being a cop if I can't murder suspects? That's no fun. That was like the main perk of the job.
Because you gunned down some fucking young thug, but because he's black and you're white, you're somehow guilty of murder, according to these cocksuckers.
That wasn't even the situation that happened here. Do you think that Chauvin shot him? That wasn't the situation in this case, but yeah, cops do shoot a lot of people who don't deserve to be shot.
Anyway. That wraps up this one. I'll see everyone later.
Dave is an idiot. So that's Dave. Let's see what some of the other reactions are. This is Ben Shapiro. This is him directly after it happened. I don't think we have a reaction from him.
Just learned the verdict in the Derek Chauvin trial, and we will be coming to you live with as many updates as possible. Right now, the verdict is guilty on all charges. Ben, tell us what it means.
So it means that I'm not sure whether the sentencing is cumulative, or whether it is they take the top sentence and then everything else falls under that. But because he doesn't have a criminal record, that means he maxes out at 12 and a half years for second-degree murder, 12 and a half years for third-degree murder, 4 years or so for the...
We're still on the same segment. I'm not doing bit messages yet until we're done with this segment.
...manslaughter charge. It was pretty obvious from how fast the jury came back that it was going to be guilty on all counts. As soon as they said the jury was coming back today, I immediately said to my producers and publicly that it was going to be guilty on all counts, because they were never going to acquit on all counts that quickly. If there had been an acquittal, it would have taken a while to get there. My own prediction was that if there had been any sort of real evidentiary consideration, which I frankly do not think that there probably was in this case, it was
They talked for like 8 hours. What do you think they were doing for 8 hours? You don't think they were going over the evidence that was provided by the prosecution?
3-week trial. There were 10 hours of consideration. That is wildly disproportionate in a case that has this many conflicting fact patterns. That if they came back this fast, it would be a guilty verdict. I thought any jury that looked at this would probably have gone hung jury on the 2 murder charges, and then maybe convicted on the manslaughter charge. If you were going to get very aggressive, that would have been an aggressive jury.
Reality says otherwise, Ben.
If you were a not aggressive jury, you would have hung on all 3 counts. And if it had hung on all 3 counts, if it hung at all, then the judge would have instructed them to keep going back in the jury room, trying to beat it out, because the fact is that you need a unanimous verdict for either acquittal or for conviction in Minnesota. The fact that it was unanimous that quickly meant pretty clearly that it was going to be conviction on all charges coming out. We'll have to see whether people who had, spent their nights planning for rioting and looting now actually go home, or whether they go ahead and hit the local target in celebration, presumably.
Again, this is the consistent theme you'll see throughout these videos, is they want a riot so badly. It's like they genuinely don't understand that when the riots happen, it's because people are begging for justice. I think Martin Luther King Jr. said, the riot is the language of the unheard, or something along those lines. That's probably not verbatim. But the idea is that people don't typically go out and riot for no reason. Even like dumb riots, like sports teams or whatever, it's because they're all hyped up about a thing that happened, right? People don't just decide to go riot. They're doing so because they've been screaming for decades that the police have been systematically killing people in their towns, in their cities, and nothing happens. No one listens. This is what happens. It is a direct result. So when justice is actually done, look at that. No riots. It's almost like we should be carrying out justice to police officers who commit crimes every time it happens. Weird.
Of the verdict. But I think one thing is pretty clear. For anybody who watched this case closely, I don't know how closely you watched it, Drew or Jeremy. I know, Matt, you watched it really closely. For people who...
January 6th, I disagree with why they did that, but they had a reason. They were tricked by internet conspiracies and people like Mike Lindell and Donald Trump into believing that they had grievances that weren't being addressed, even though those grievances were fake.
Watched this case closely. There are elements here that it's very difficult to make the case, to me, that any rational jury would have, who just looked at the evidence, would have come to the conclusion that beyond a reasonable doubt, Chauvin was guilty of second or third degree murder.
It's convenient that you just get to decide that your position is the rational one without any explanation. You just say, any rational jury would agree with me because I'm rational. I'm Ben Shapiro.
This just did not fulfill the elements. The third degree murder charge particularly is absurd on its face. The third degree murder charge never should have been allowed in the courtroom. The third degree murder charge is a charge for what is generally called depraved heart murder. Depraved heart murder is you throw a brick onto a freeway.
Third degree murder. Let's look it up. Third degree murder. To win a conviction, prosecutors would have to show only that Floyd's death was caused by an act that was obviously dangerous, though not necessarily a felony. That would result in a maximum sentence of 25 years, which is exactly what the prosecution did. He was being reckless by putting his knee and his weight on Floyd in the way that he did. Third degree murder.
And you don't have anybody you're explicitly attempting to kill, but you end up killing somebody on the freeway. You shoot a gun into a crowd. That's depraved heart murder. And that was what the third degree murder charge was. You have to have intent to kill others, right? And then you end up killing one person. It was counted.
You don't have to have an intent to kill anyone. If you have an intent to kill someone, that's first degree murder. If you have a premeditated intent to kill someone, that's first degree murder.
Anyway, it shouldn't have been on the docket. The second degree murder charge required felony assault that results in the murder. So usually...
That actually isn't true either. I looked this up too. Second degree murder is a type of murder that has a punishment which is less severe than first degree murder. Exact distinctions between first and second degree murder vary by state. One critical difference is that capital punishment is typically not available for second degree murder. Typically, second degree murder is defined as a murder that is not premeditated or murder that is caused by the offender's reckless conduct that displays an obvious lack of concern for human life. That directly sounds like a description of what Chauvin did.
That is where you're robbing a store, you got a gun.
Third is accidental, but more severe than manslaughter. And second is you were being reckless in some way. Like a reckless abandon for human life that causes someone to die.
Gun accidentally goes off and kills somebody, right? Or the guy dies for some other reason while you're in the process of committing some sort of felony. So you had to show that he intended to commit a felony against George Floyd.
No, you don't. No, you don't. He just has to be negligent, which he was.
It's very difficult to say that he intended to commit a felony against George Floyd because Minneapolis Police Department procedure allows you to do exactly what Chauvin was doing.
No, they don't. Chauvin's boss was literally one of the people who came to speak at the trial, and he directly said this was against department policy, which I think was actually a pretty big reason why he got convicted on that, because the police department itself came in and said, no, this is not something that we tell our officers to do. So Ben's just lying here, you know, like a liar.
Under these circumstances, the manslaughter one was a little bit easier to make because the charges in the manslaughter case, you just have to have reckless disregard. So the prosecution can make the case that even if he didn't mean to do anything bad, it was reckless for him not to get off of Floyd. Once Floyd was already unconscious and once Floyd was dying, he should have gotten off of him, and it was reckless not to get off of him. But the fact that they convicted on all three counts says to me that they weren't really looking at the evidence because...
You literally just completely disregarded testimony from Chauvin's boss in order to lie. And you have the fucking gall to say that the jury that was at the trial the whole time and deliberated for 10 hours about this didn't consider the evidence? Shut up, Ben.
Again, all three of those charges also rely on a simple question of causation, right? Did George Floyd actually die because Derek Chauvin was on top of him with his knee?
Yes. Yes, he did. The medical examiner agrees that that is why he died.
What the defense showed repeatedly is that he did not have his knee on his neck, right? There's
video! There is like a 9-minute video, Ben. It's like a 9-minute video.
No physical trauma to his trachea. There was no evidence.
Ben, you don't have to have physical trauma to your trachea to cause you to die. There's other stuff in your neck other than your trachea. You could cut off blood supply by getting on, the artery here. And if he's blocking it off, then you could cause someone to die because of that. Do you think the only tube in your neck is your trachea? Maybe your doctor wife and you should sit down and talk about that a little bit.
That there had been physical trauma to his arteries that would have cut off the oxygen to the brain. There are a couple different types of asphyxia. There's physical asphyxia where you actually strangle somebody. There's you deprive somebody of oxygen to the brain by cutting off their blood supply via their arterial blood flow. And then there is a chemical asphyxia, which is drug overdose. And the fact is that George Floyd had 3 times the deadly level of fentanyl in his system. He was high as a kite.
I think that was like a meme that got disproved. I could be wrong. Let's take a look. Snopes or something. George Floyd fentanyl fact check. Regardless, it doesn't matter. I don't think the drugs are what killed him if he was. George Floyd's death ruled a homicide, not fentanyl overdose. Following weeks of testimony in a closely watched case, a 12-member jury found former Minneapolis officer Derek Chauvin guilty on all counts in the death of George Floyd, a 46-year-old black man who died while being restrained by Chauvin in police custody last May. As Americans flooded the streets to mark the verdict, misinformation erupted on social media. Despite video evidence of Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes, a viral social media post claims Floyd's death was the result of a drug overdose. Quote, "Derek Chauvin is not responsible for George Floyd's drug overdose," reads a screenshot of a tweet shared to Instagram on April 20th with over 5,000 likes. In the photo's caption, the user added other misleading claims, such as Floyd was COVID-19 positive, he had no injuries to his neck, muscles, esophagus, trachea, or brain. He went into cardiac arrest from drug overdose and his lungs were 3 times normal size, indicative of opiate overdose. Similar versions of the claim have been shared across other platforms. One Facebook page wrote on April 20th, quote, "Science says Floyd died of an overdose and also says he wasn't suffocated." USA Today reached out to the Instagram user and Facebook page for comment. The Instagram post has apparently been deleted. Autopsy cites restraint and neck compression. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office ruled Floyd's death was a homicide caused by, quote, "cardiopulmonary arrest," complicated by, quote, "restraint and neck compression while he was being subdued by the police." Medical examiner Andrew Baker testified that the way the officers held Floyd down and compressed his neck while restraining him, quote, "was just more than Mr. Floyd could take, given the condition of his heart." Similarly, an independent autopsy commissioned by Floyd's family ruled asphyxiation from sustained pressure was the cause of Floyd's death. Floyd family attorney Benjamin Crump said at a press conference in June 2020, Dr. Michael Baden and Dr. Alicia Wilson performed the autopsy, finding there was neck and back compression that led to a lack of blood flow to the brain. Dr. Martin Tobin, a pulmonologist and critical care specialist of Loyola University Medical Center, also testified during Chauvin's trial that Floyd died of lack of oxygen from being pinned to the pavement with a knee on his neck. He added, "A healthy person subject to what Mr. Floyd was subjected to would have died." Tobin noted Floyd's body position, officers lifting up his handcuffed arms, Chauvin's knee on his neck, back, and sides, are what led to his low oxygen levels, resulting in low tidal volume, which gives you shallow breaths. While findings from Floyd's autopsy revealed 11 nanograms per millimeter of fentanyl in his blood, medical experts called as prosecution witness agreed the amount of fentanyl was not high enough to be considered fatal. Dr. Daniel Isenschmid, a forensic toxicologist at NMS Labs in Pennsylvania, testified and presented data showing the levels of methamphetamine found in Floyd's system were lower than the average amount found in 94% of DUI cases in 2020. Cardiologist Jonathan Rich told the court, quote, "I can state with the highest degree of medical certainty that Floyd did not die from a primary cardiac event, and he did not die from a drug overdose." Rich added, had it not been for Chauvin's restraint, he believed Floyd would have lived. Dr. Lindsay Thomas, an expert witness who has reviewed the documents and videos in the case, echoed Tobin's testimony and noted the slow nature of Floyd's support the conclusion that he did not die from a fentanyl overdose. So there you go. He didn't die from a fentanyl overdose. Liars.
He had 75% arterial blockage. The medical examiner originally said if I'd found him dead in his room, I would have immediately assumed that it was a drug overdose, right? And
Weird, because the medical examiner testified that the cop killed him. Weird.
Only reason that this became a national issue is because of the tape, which on its face, when everybody first saw it, looks really ugly. Because it turns out that a lot of policing looks really ugly. And then when you get all of the lead up, at the very least, you don't have to say that you love what Chauvin did. You don't have to say that Chauvin acted appropriately. You don't have to say any of that stuff. What you do have to say is to not even believe that there's reasonable doubt on the murder charges. On the murder charges, where you would have to have intent. That suggests to me that this was far less about the actual facts of the case and far more about all of the hubbub surrounding the case. This trial never should have taken place in Minneapolis. It should have immediately been transferred in terms of venue. You were not going to find an impartial jury in Minneapolis in the single most publicized criminal justice case of our lifetime, at least since Rodney King.
Jesus Christ. I want to know where Ben Shapiro wants the trial to be held instead. Somewhere in Alabama, maybe? Whatever the whitest county in Alabama is, that's where Ben Shapiro would like the trial to be moved to. I have to use the bathroom real quick because all the hydrates that you guys have been doing. So I'm going to throw on some music for a second while I do that, okay? Be right back. Thanks for dealing with that. Let's check out Jeremy of The Quartering on his other politics channel, Midwestly, for his reaction.
Well, the nation waited with bated breath today as the verdict was reached relatively quickly in the Derek Chauvin trial. And I'm not going to bury the lead. You've probably already seen he's guilty of second degree, third degree, and he's guilty on all counts.
Hydrate.
It is the outcome that I predicted. I don't know what's going to happen here. I think we can from here. Obviously, he can appeal, and I believe he will be granted an appeal. Obviously, we haven't seen anything on sentencing yet, but you know, it would seem this was the predictable outcome. Certainly, in my opinion, there was some reasonable doubt or possibility of reasonable doubt. But I just, you know, he certainly was guilty of some of it. I had no doubt about that.
Jeremy's doing better than I thought he would. Not great, but better than Ben Shapiro.
But I wasn't sure how the jury would feel about reasonable doubt. You know, you just need to flip one of them. But the fact that the verdict came in just hours, I was almost certain that it was going to be guilty on all counts. And I think that's, you know, exactly what happened. I don't think that his defense is going to have a problem appealing this. In my opinion, the jury was tainted. That doesn't mean...
Why? Why do you think that? Other than the fact that they didn't bring back the verdict that you liked, why do you think they were tainted considering they've been sequestered? Why do you think they've been tainted?
That they made the incorrect decision, but I think that the case for having, politicians saying, we're going to need to amp things up if we don't
They were sequestered.
get the verdict we want. If we don't, you got people saying we're going to take to the streets, we're going to burn the city down again. And I think, look, this whole thing was a mess. I felt like there was reasonable doubt, but I wasn't in that courtroom. I didn't see every little shred of evidence like they did.
No kidding.
I also wasn't intimidated by politicians.
Jesus Christ, Jeremy. It wasn't about intimidation. The guy committed murder.
And everything else going on. I think the most important thing here is that, hopefully some healing can begin. I don't believe that it will. I believe that we're just another event away from everybody burning their respective cities down again.
Which cities got, Jeremy,
I think that
which cities got burned down? They always say this. The city was burned to the ground. Was it? Was it though? No cities have been burned to the ground. You're describing like a Target or something getting burnt. Target's a city now. Did you know that? Didn't a Burger King or an AutoZone or something go up too? Does he know those aren't cities? Just saying. Maybe if Circuit City was still around, then that could be like a word play. They burned Circuit City to the ground.
If I could make a comment on, training. Obviously, people that want to defund local law enforcement are dumb. More training is needed. In particular, I would argue in de-escalation. Is it really worth locking up somebody over a potentially bad $20 bill? I just don't know. If you would argue, if the question was somebody who was producing them, sure. But I've literally had a fake, I think it was a 50 or 100 passed to me, and I was in Las Vegas at a dispensary, and they're like, this bill is fake. I didn't know that. I think I got it from somebody who was paying me for something. They didn't know it was fake. They're a friend of mine. I knew that wasn't the case.
Yeah, we watched that clip of the cop trainer guy earlier.
I don't know. I feel like obviously lots of people will feel relieved tonight. I'm not sure that the jury had much of a choice, but there certainly was evidence that
they literally did have a choice. They had two options. They chose guilty.
That, painted this as the correct decision. I want to call out the journalists who have been essentially doxing jurors. Absolutely deplorable behavior. Politicians who have been getting involved, race hustlers.
How dare people talk about an important justice issue of our time, those bastards.
Like Al Sharpton. Every time something like this happens, and let me be very clear, it's always going to happen.
Yikes.
I don't agree with that. I wish it wouldn't. But it's always going to happen. You're always going to have these, the overwhelming majority of interactions with law enforcement go as scripted. But you're always going to have mistakes.
Okay, and when those mistakes lead to murder, then you charge that cop with murder. That's the issue, Jeremy.
And
Jeremy is married, yes.
I wish that people wouldn't line up to profit from it. Major brands, Nike, United Airlines, all these brands lining up to virtue signal and profit stand on this dude's grave. Was George Floyd a model citizen? Of course not. He had an addiction problem. That was clear.
So do you, Jeremy. You've been super drunk on stream before. We've watched it.
He had his history, but had the officers been able to more properly detain him, had the training to detain him without letting him out of the car and all this other insanity, he'd probably still be alive today. Maybe. We saw this with Kenosha, with the Kenosha incident that let a city in my hometown or my home state here burn down.
Burn down. Kenosha, 0 homes and businesses stand.
Failed to gain control of somebody, and that person ended up getting filled with lead. Had they have handled the situation up front, detained him properly, never would have got in that car. Never would have had to have holes put in him.
Yikes.
Training and de-escalation. These are things that our local law enforcement need way more training in. Is it worth it? You know, is it worth it? You know, even if you're that officer, I mean, ultimately you're the one that's going to catch the charge, like Derek found out.
Which is the point, Jeremy.
Maybe he should have just said, nah, I'm just going to let this dude go. It ain't worth it.
Or maybe he should have said, I shouldn't put my weight on this guy's neck, as people are screaming at me that he can't breathe, and he's saying he can't breathe, and he stopped moving because he passed out. Oops, and now he's dead. You idiot.
This isn't me advocating, you know, and I know that when this video comes out, emotions are going to be really high, and there's going to be people that are really angry, or people that are really happy, but I just don't see any other outcome for this case. It'll get appealed, and he'll get several of these dropped. That I'm sure of.
Kind of doubt it. I guess we'll see, though.
I strongly back police officers, but with that, I'm not saying they're infallible. And I think that perspective is important. Of the hundreds of thousands of interactions that happen every day, you're talking about a small fraction of them that end very poorly.
Only some of our cheeseburgers will kill you, okay? We sell thousands of cheeseburgers a day. And, you know, some of those cheeseburgers kill people, but that's the risk you take when you sell cheeseburgers. Could we do something about it? Could we train our chefs not to murder people with cheeseburgers, or at the very least hold those responsible who are poisoning the cheeseburgers? I guess, but is it worth it? You know.
Obviously, the goal would be 0. I think we've had 9 incidents of unarmed citizens this year alone. That's too many. Just too many. And, you know, looks like his bail has been revoked as well. That's it. You know, bail revoked, guilty on all charges. We'll see. We'll see. I hope everyone stays safe in Minnesota, as I'm sure people will still use this opportunity to get TVs and
every time they want a riot so badly so they can point and go, look at these people, they're bad.
Sneakers, but just an unfortunate end to a terrible situation that hopefully we can all learn from.
What an asshole. Let me see if any other chuds had a reaction that's... I doubt I'm gonna, excuse me, find it immediately, but... This is probably actually nice. Hey, Lou. You want to come up on the desk?
Plaintiff versus Derek Michael Chauvin, defendant. Verdict, count 1. Court file number 27, CR 20-12646. We, the jury, in the above entitled matter as to count 1, unintentional second-degree murder while committing a felony, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021, 1:04 p.m. And juror foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 2. We, the jury in the above entitled matter as to count 2, third-degree murder, perpetrating an eminently dangerous act, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Signed by jury foreperson, juror number 19. Same caption, verdict count 3. We, the jury in the above entitled matter as to count 3, second-degree manslaughter, culpable negligence, creating an unreasonable risk, find the defendant guilty. This verdict agreed to this 20th day of April 2021 at 1:45 p.m. Jury foreperson 019.
It's sad that we gotta be so excited that a cop actually faced justice for murder, huh? Bummer. I'm so glad he got found guilty, though. Anyway, that's the Chauvin stuff. Let's move on. Let me do bits messages. Bartlach Moses says, losing pisses people off. That it does. Nick says, that's the point, Dave. CCB00 says, chef's kiss. Chud disappointment. Mike says, I didn't study for my exam, but I was sure I'll pass. It's probably why Dave still lives with his parents. That was how he went through high school. Pyromancer says, it's not fair. They had evidence. You can't put someone in prison over evidence. Unconditional Prong says, cops resigning is nothing new, Lord of Cringe. Frank Serpico did because he got sick of all the corruption. Doodleburb says, so funny story, there's this one house on my route to work that always had the thin blue line flag proudly displayed outside their house. I was riding through that area today for therapy, and the house, strangely enough, now has a fresh U.S. flag in its place. Coincidence, I'm sure. Pyromancer says, everything is cucked lately. Daddy Sume says, when cops get away with murder, the criminals already rule. Devious Chillster with 100 bits says, okay, but the trial had a lot of weight for me too, based on how the defense was arguing. Their defense was basically, quote, he had so many pre-existing things that Chauvin wouldn't have normally murdered him if he didn't have all that, so it's okay that he got murdered, more or less. So a person with a massive amount of disability, people could use that against me if I say, got murdered by a cop. Scary stuff. It is. Daddy Sume says, I can only imagine how boring a sequestered jury is. Yeah, that's gotta be a pain. Pyromancer says, need to start a list of all the people, organizations that Chuds blame. Be a long list. Nick says, is Dave's favorite drink rum and cope? Mike Mac says, or no, 74 Quinn 74 says, where can I get some good Chauvin copium? I already checked out right-wing cope. Honestly, just going to, like, the Donald.win or GreatAwakening.win, they're still pretty salty about it. Tucker White says, just FYI, whenever a Chud brings up BS talking points that crime will skyrocket if police quit, be reminded of the time the New York Police Department went on strike and crime rates plummeted. Nick says, Dave's logic, every leader I disagree with should live in poverty. Sort of STH, thanks for following. Pyromancer says, too many cops that saw Judge Dredd and went, that's what I want to do, or the Punisher. Pyromancer says, Ben has the political acumen of a 50-state landslide beanie man. 74 Quinn 74 says, holy shit, when you Google third-degree murder, George Floyd comes up first. Yeah, a lot of people looking into it. Mike Max with 20, thank you. Daddy Sume with 20 says, you can tell how Vanilla Ben is because he doesn't know what blood choking is. Purple Nickel with 100 bits says, can you believe this is the world we live in? Not like this. Just dropped by, thanks for following. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits says, Los Angeles always looks that way. Daddy Sume says, we didn't start the fire. It's been burning. It's been burning since the world's been turning. I think that's not the exact phrase. It is always burning since the world's been turning. Nick says, conservatives love the Skittles analogy when it applies to people they disagree with, like Muslims, yet they get so bent out of shape when you apply it to cops. Andrew Batella says, but if we hold our chefs responsible for poisoning people, no one will want to be a cheeseburger chef. Querulous Artisan with 100. If right-wingers don't want Mr. Cop to be convicted, maybe Mr. Cop shouldn't have done a murder. That's crazy. We can't tell cops not to murder people. That's their favorite part of the job. Kirthan with 100 bits says, I gotta hang out with a friend and actually lean on each other and play games on the couch for the first time since the pandemic started because of the vaccine. Science is beautiful. That's wonderful. And 74 Quinn 74 becomes the stream boss with 300 bits. Thank you. Mike Mack says, I was recently wondering by watching these people, was I ever smart or just surrounded by idiots? I definitely got a false sense of intelligence by being surrounded by idiots. So, I feel you. Oh, that's not something we're watching. What are we gonna do? This guy's been posting forever. He's been on YouTube longer than I have. 11 years ago? Jesus. Can we cleanse with some Copapedia? Maybe. We found a cursed channel that my rival Danzy.
Welcome back to the With or Without Fur channel. Today we are going to look at this talking Yoda plush. It doesn't do a lot, but I don't have very many animatronics right now, so wow, let's take a look.
When 900 years old you reach, look as good you or not, hmm?
Wait, did Milo talk to Bryson? No way. Where's that?
Judge me by my size, do you? Concentrate. Feel the force flow. Yeah.
Yeah.
When 900 years old you reach, look as good you or not, hmm?
Hydrate.
Why not? Do. Judge me by my size, do you? For 800 years.
Does anyone have a link to that?
Jedi. Do.
So what, this lady just looks at stuffed animals? That's fine. It's not something I'm into, but if that's your hobby, she's clearly into stuffed animals. Is there, like, creepy ones or something?
Welcome back to the With or Without Fur channel.
Oh, she takes
Today we have a very,
she
very,
takes
very
the
special
outside
guest
off of
who
these.
I luckily found yesterday. This is Tickle Me Elmo.
Why? Why does she skin the stuffed animals?
Are you ready for the reveal? Dun, 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 dun. And so here he is. He's got a nice little mask. That should be fun later. I'm Elmo. You can. So he has 3 triggers. I found one up here I didn't even know, and one down here. His left arm wasn't even anything. It was just tacked on, and then he's got his main trigger here.
Daddy Sumai says I can only get so erect. Ew.
Speaker. Nothing very exciting.
Oh
Got his
god.
really
Oh, it's
legs
on
so he can get
Milo's
up and
channel.
down.
Has Milo been banned from Twitch at any point? No, you said Lance watched it, so it's fine. Ashy Boo says this would be horrifying to a 2-year-old.
Care about stuff like that.
Yeah. How long is this? 8 minutes? Okay, we can watch that in a little bit.
Let's give him a try. Let's try this one.
Just the pile of Elmo's skin.
Little bit of.
What the hell?
That's so weird. I'm exhausted. And here's the part of the video where we have a little bit of fun. I have put the Elmo mask on the Maracas dog, which I'm going to call Servo from now on because it reminds me of that character from Mystery Science Theater. All right, Elmo. Watch out.
Oh, why would you give it knife hands? It'll never stop.
It's like I fixed the maraca dog. He's singing a full song. Elmo. This suits you, I think.
That's a motherfucking SCP.
Tickle me minion. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If I've earned it, make sure you subscribe. And leave me a nice comment below. Or a not nice comment, as I'm prone to. So,
This is beautiful. This person is amazing.
welcome back to the With or Without Fur channel.
I'm just gonna skip to the skinning part.
Is this out individually. In here that held on the mouth. This looks very familiar, doesn't it? It looks a lot like, well, a little bit like Servo without the arms.
Saw this in a movie,
like
it didn't end well.
The animated singing lion that we had. And so here we are. We have our 4 lights. And look, huh? God, that's disturbing.
This is great! I love this channel. Thank you for introducing this to me. This one looks horrifying.
Welcome back to the...
Oh, kitty!
I think that's good. Let's see what he looks like with... Look at his horrifying face with his mouth open.
This channel is called With or Without Fur. Here's a link.
Claw.
It's Sid from Toy Story.
Down.
People thought I was the
Let's
most
turn it
awful thing about these streams, says Daddy Sume. Querulous Artisans, I practically play mostly horror games, and this scares me.
Hi. La 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 la. Very good.
Not safe for furries. God. big mouth Billy Bass without skin. I actually know this one. I also skinned one of these for a show Jake and I were gonna do for a character named Dr. Fish Hands. He had fish hands. Pyromancer says, oh no, Daddy Sume says, furries deal with fursuit, so it's basically the same thing. And the Ender 92 says, Hannah, you're going to get DMCAs. You can't watch Criminal Minds on Twitch.
Here I got like parts that fell off, and I was really careful. But we'll see if he still works. Eh? All right.
Yeah. I can't play that, but you get it. Interesting. I'm gonna save this channel. Are they still posting? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, 7 months ago, 9 months ago. It's a shame. Seems like she's not posting very much anymore. Okay, let's watch the Bryson Gray Milo interview. This is gonna be bad.
Anymore. Welcome to the season of hate. Season H, we're calling it, and it's so named because in a couple of months, my new book, Make America Hate Again, will be hitting bookshelves, except it won't really be hitting bookshelves because nobody will stock it. And this is quite possibly the thing that will finally get me banned from Amazon. Let's see.
Well, I've already destroyed my career. How can I dig deeper?
Fingers crossed.
Jake has an illegitimate baby. I'm guessing it's a corn baby. Corn! Beautiful. I'm gonna skip past the playing his music video bit.
I did you today for two reasons. One of them is that I'm very confused as to whether or not we ought to celebrate or mourn the passing of DMX, and I want to get to that in a second. And the second one is, as I mentioned earlier, that you seem to be almost as homophobic as me, which I'm very enthusiastic.
Milo's the most homophobic man to ever suck dick. True story.
About, and that will form the backbone of some of our conversation later. Let's talk about homosexuals, because
for those who don't know, Milo is a gay man who is claiming to now be ex-gay due to conversion therapy. So that's his shtick, is pretending he's straight now and doing right-wing grifting. Close to a hype train.
Been on a journey recently. I've decided to put down the dick. It's been a difficult. I'm sorry.
Conservatives used to be for the word of God, but now they're a bunch of weasels and punks. But I mean, I genuinely just think it's disgusting. And even outside of my
Bryson, you're straight. It's fine. You don't have to find gay sex or other men appealing. That's fine. You're straight. But you don't need to denigrate other people for the fact that they do find someone of the same gender to be attractive. It's fine.
Opinion, the Bible says it's an abomination and it's disgusting, and obviously
the Bible says that about a lot of things. Eating shellfish is an abomination. Mixing two fabrics is an abomination. Eating pork is an abomination. It says a lot of things are abominations. Leviticus is full of that stuff.
It leads it has no net positive for humanity, and you don't even
have you ever had a prostate orgasm, Bryson? That's a net positive. He's talking to himself, Anna.
Be a Christian to really even understand that. So I talk about it because everybody else is scared to talk about it, but it's our job to never deny God in front of man. The reason people are scared to talk about it because the LGBT community has become so powerful now that if you say one word...
That's true. 1 to 5% of the population has completely taken over control, and it's because we're so fabulous. It's so good. The LGBT community, we have agents everywhere.
Everybody gets shadow banned, blah, 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 and I don't care about any of that. I don't care about losing money or nothing, so I guess God chose me.
81% of the level 1 hype train.
For that. I didn't get red pilled by a person. I got red pilled because Bernie supporters was calling me homophobic, and I went to go figure out why. You know what I'm saying?
And after you listened to them, your final response was, yup.
I don't really believe.
Why is this so short? Does he not have the whole thing up? Or is this just a teaser? Doodleburb, thanks for 200 bits.
Keep an impression, but if you want to know the most persecuted, they're straight white Christian males. So I think.
Oh, full episode of the hour-long conversation between Milo and Bryson Gray available to subscribers on censored.tv. I'm probably going to have to do that at some point.
Probably at the top of that list. And I think men, period, of any color. Straight, masculine men of any color.
I've been very proud.
Bryson is very straight, okay? He loves manly, straight, rugged, hairy, bulky men. None of this soft, effeminate stuff. 74 Quinn 74, thank you for gifting a sub. Querulous Artisan with 20 bits says, let us all LGBTs join with Hannah and take over the world and usher in a glorious LGBTQ plus utopia. Sounds good. Mike Mack says, hey, look, it's the anti-gay, a gay man, grifting again. That Aldo implications the right is easy to grift. That also implicates that the right is easy to grift to the point that a grifter becomes the president and made them think he was a godsend. Bardlock Moses says, I got canceled for being a POS, Bryson.
To realize that...
What is this? A cab for police doggo? Oh, no. Animal Crossing memes.
Although I have some work to do on
Jake
my
can be our token straight guy.
That my
Sounds
lifestyle
good.
at least is now becoming more congruent with.
Did I see that guy who shot his doctor for getting an orgasm during a prostate exam? The what now? The what? Man shot his male doctor after he made him come during prostate exam. Wow. You know, you'd think maybe you'd just take from that experience, like, oh, that was kind of awkward, but apparently that's something I like. I'm going to go, if the guy's married or has a girlfriend or something, maybe go, hey, weird thing happened today. Stuff went in my butt, and it felt great. So can we do that? Instead, he murdered. Why? Why murder?
With God and with my faith and all the rest of it. And I have now achieved something that I thought was impossible. I've become a straight white male.
You're selling it. You're selling it, Milo. You definitely come off as the most masculine straight man of all time, especially with that top.
The top of the tree, and I am ready to start oppressing minorities. I can't wait. I cannot wait to get cracking.
Pardlock Moses says, "I wish I could come that fast from prostate massage."
So I've done a very bad job of that by having you as my first guest, but you have been absolutely. I've been flattering you far too much. For
31% of level 2.
So I meant to ask you this, and I promised I would ask you this. So just to be clear, this is real. You have actually started changing your life.
I have.
Oh, Bryson, are you going to be this gullible that you're going to really believe Milo on this? How many years until Milo gets caught with a new boyfriend or something to that effect? Just curious.
Fucking white people.
Slipped. So I've got quite good willpower. And I decided that this was something that was not making me happy. Unlike a lot of gay people or people with these tendencies who go into reparative therapy, or who try to change their lives, a lot of them are people who have had very unsatisfactory sex lives because they've been held back by feelings of
probably because they like dick. They're probably not having satisfying sex in straight couplings if they're gay. Yeah.
Adequacy or shame, or they've been, overweight and not got the sex partners they wanted. I've been very handsome and very desirable my whole life. So I've never had a problem finding I'm just trying to tell you my story. I've never had a problem finding sexual partners, and I've had lots of them.
Danny Sume
and
says
it's
debatable.
interfaced with other addictions and
40
and
seconds left on the hype
compulsions
train.
and dependencies and diversions in my life, and having kind of like, I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Faustus, where he's kind of like, glutted on the things that he's been learning, and so he reaches for magic. But I felt as though I just kind of got sick with sin, like I was bloated from it, like I'd had so much that I needed to just clear the decks. And I realized that
BD Kappa, thanks for subscribing for 12 months.
I was trying to like not do the kind of drugs that I was leaning on in my 20s, not do this, that, and the other. Stop
Marcus Drake
lying
with
to
200.
people. Stop
Thank you.
being this terrible person, and just try to like live well. But the one thing I couldn't shake was this, and it kind of like all of my addictive, habits were kind of all just like focused on having sex with men, and I realized that it wasn't cutting it, and it wasn't fulfilling me. And then I found somebody that I really cared about, and we were kind of living like almost, as brothers or best friends, and there was a sort of sexual component, but it wasn't really the main thing. What I realized being with the man that I still share a house with is that this is the first healthy male relationship I've ever had in my whole life.
So is it a regular male relationship, or is it like a homosexual relationship?
It began obviously as, we got quote unquote married.
Did Bryson not even follow the story he just told? What?
Right? Began as a homosexual sexual relationship, but it was much.
Oh yeah, I think Milo and his boyfriend, husband, whichever, I don't know, are probably still together. He just said, "Hey, I'm gonna pretend to be straight so I can do some books and get back into this right-wing circle." I would imagine they're still together.
It's more like a partnership, like best friends or brothers. And I realized the sexual component wasn't what was important to me about this relationship. It was that this is the first healthy male relationship I've ever had in my whole life. And I thought, well, how about I try to not do that thing that I know is not making me happy and that I know is keeping me from where I want to be. And the first time I tried to stop, I lasted like 220 days or something. I'm like an accountability person, so I like doing the daily whatever. And then I
Milo,
slipped.
If you still slip up because you are attracted to men and want to sleep with them, then you're not gay. Then you are gay. You are a gay man. You are a gay man. You just happen to be not acting on the fact that you are gay. Being gay is not the act of having relations with someone of the same gender. Being gay is being attracted to people of the same gender. You are still gay.
But now I'm back up to like 80 days or something, so...
Mike Mack says if you put all the anti-gay preachers in a room, with Milo included, and you ask them which one of them is straight, the answer you will get might surprise you.
We're talking about a year, and only one slip in a year.
It's fine, you probably just tripped and fell into a penis.
Committed to living as best I can, according to what my church tells me, and I believe is what God wants for me. When I move down to Florida, I'm going to be not just continuing to raise money, but also looking for premises for the Milo Center, for the conversion therapy center that I'm looking to open in Florida. Now, this is a center we're going to have, I think, a blend of residential and outpatient treatment programs for a variety of different same-sex attraction related. Now,
open this link in a off tab. Hold on. Ooh. Yep, that's I'm gonna say that's TOS. That's disgusting.
Maladies, illnesses, and shortcomings. You can sit tight for a couple of months on that one. Once I've finished the book and I've got the book out, then I'll be...
I just realized that Milo Yiannopoulos, under that, he's described as heterosexual pioneer.
All guns blazing on the Milo Center. If you'd like to support or you'd like to help with that, please do DM.
He's going to use this center to prey on young gay men, isn't he?
and me, you can go to @Milo Inc. on Telegram. You can email me at m@milo.net. And if you'd like to support me in some way in producing these programs for gay men trying to break their way out of the poisonous cycle that they're in, get in touch. If you just want to find out more about it, you can also get in touch. I have also started a support group. We have about 150 to 200 people waiting to join, but only about 40 approved so far. We're kind of drip feeding people in. If you are somebody who is suffering from same-sex attractions and want to...
Okay, Daddy Sume has done a timeout request for Altered Rin. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. How do I do the custom timeout so I don't have to do it for like a full 10 minutes? Wait, did I just do it? Someone time out Altered Rin, but for like 2 minutes or something like that.
To commit to live according to the teachings of the church. We'd like to hear from you. And...
Jesus Christ. Wait, did Medicated Person just do one too? Altered Rin will remember that. Someone time out Daddy Sume for 5 minutes.
And we may have some...
Is there not a mod that can do it? Hold on. I'm gonna have to do it for like the full 10 minutes then, because I don't know how to... Okay, I just gotta do it for 10 minutes then. Sorry.
Some resources and help for you.
That was
All right?
1 second. Okay, here's 10 minutes. I gotta figure out how to do that correctly. Daddy Sume is gone. Crab rave. Oh, I'm such an asshole for putting that option on there. I gotta pee again because of all the times you guys made me drink water. DM Trey says, TW, Milo has said that it's good for young men to be molested by older men. He's going to use the center to abuse others, probably. Hydrate. Doodleburb says hydrate. Okay. Can you use 200,000 points to ban Daddy Sume? No. Oh, hats off. I gotta switch hats. Okay, I'll put on a different hat when I come back, because I gotta go pee, okay? I'll be back in a moment. How much water should you drink in a day? About the size of this. I can't switch out hats. I literally can. That's the entire point of the thing, is that when people do it, I switch out hats. Milo is like the drug addict from Scrubs, the one who faked being clean and who tricks people by stealing their drugs by posing as an anti-drug person. Yeah. Okay, I gotta time out MH Dark Beast because MMO Addicted did a thing. Where's MH Dark Beast? This is gonna get so out of hand so fast, all these timeouts. I'm gonna have to raise the limit on those, because it's like... It was a terrible idea, yes. Why do they have an article on pie? Conservapedia has an article on pie. What could they possibly add to the concept of pie that would be conservative? At least it's taking a lot of points out of the economy. Yeah, that's good. If you turn 200k points into hydrates, will I do it? No, I would die. That would be way too many. Did I know the Bible defines pi as 3? It's vague. I've read it. Anyway, let's see. Pi, or Archimedes' constant, is perhaps the most important mathematical constant in all mathematics and engineering. It's defined as the ratio of the circumference of a circle to its diameter, and represented by the 16th letter of the Greek alphabet pi. It was first used with its current meaning in 1706 by a Welsh mathematician, William Jones, who selected pi because it's the first letter of the Greek word for perimeter, i.e. the circumference of a circle is its perimeter. A Swiss mathematician, a Swish... God damn it. Hydrate. Okay. A Swiss mathematician brought the concept into general use in 1737. Pi is referenced in the Bible, literature, and even as the title of a movie. It is central to the most famous identity in all of mathematics, Euler's identity. Video games. They have an article on video games. A video game is an electronic game which is played on a device such as a computer or console. Video games are generally designed to be addictive, as this helps to build and maintain a profitable user base and sell the product to those who may try it. Chess, which has many superb online websites, is a good habit to develop in order to defeat a video game addiction. Andrew Batella with 20 bits says, with a pi imaginary exponent. I don't know math. Violent video games are particularly addictive and harmful for teenage boys and young men. Often the more violent a game is, the better it sells. Many of the young mass murderers have been linked to addictions to violent video games! No! And the video games are also associated with dropping out of school, obesity, and other bad effects. The majority of young people play video games at least casually. What are you talking about? At least one study showed that young men are playing video games instead of getting jobs. What's the citation on that one? Study finds young men are playing video games instead of getting jobs. Where's the study? Let me see. Where is the citation? Fuck it. Replacing a habit of playing violent video games with a hobby of playing the more mentally challenging game of chess, which millions of competitors are playing online daily, is a great way to break the harmful video game addiction. The video game industry itself also receives significant government support. In Quebec, all large video game projects can receive tax credits up to 37%, which they are loath to give up, increasing either public debt or taxes for everyone else. Tons of governments give subsidies or tax breaks to different industries for being in their city and having jobs and stuff there. Jesus Christ. I hate Conservapedia. Oh no, they have an article on the, quote, causes of homosexuality. Okay. I can't do Conservapedia today. Too much. Too much. We've been going for about 3 hours anyway. That's probably good. Yes, the incredibly violent game of Animal Crossing. Hey, do you know how many times I've hit villagers with a net? Just saying.
Involves Afghanistan. So that was gonna be really fun. Why doesn't Dylan like you anymore? I don't know if Dylan hates me or anything like that. I highly doubt it.
It's Liv posting to him.
Proper emotional perspective for
What's
your
Bad Bunny doing?
Human beings to run a society.
Sure, Lou.
If you think we have to cage people, fuck tons of people too. Like a huge number, like millions and millions of people are currently in cages in America.
All right.
If you think that that's necessary
Daddy
to
Sume
run
says
a
this
country,
means war. Good luck with that.
I think that
I'm gonna adjust the
perspective is
bits,
pretty
or not the
stunted.
bits. Adjust
and
the
it's
channel
pretty-
point stuff.
Also pretty bigoted. Because you're never
Because
going
it
to be the
needs some
one that's being
adjusting.
caged in this scenario.
Doodle Burp says,
Like,
"Night, Hannah,
maybe
thanks for
one
the
day
stream.
you
Thanks for
might be
coming."
thrown in
All right,
prison,
have a
but
wonderful
at that
night,
point,
everyone.
you might start seeing
I
things a
hope
little
you
bit
have.
differently.
I hope you have fun, whatever you're doing tonight. You're all valid. I know you're all jealous of my cool witch hat. You should be. It's quite cool. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Daddy Sume says, Paladin War cries, good for the good God law for the law books. All right, see you guys later.
Problems, and we're not even solving problems here.